Hello and welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today is Friday Sews. Yay! Thank you again to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag. It's so much fun. If you're not already following the hashtag, get on it, because you'll meet a lot of lovely people who just tell you about what they've been doing sewing wise and a little bit about their lives, so you get to know them a little bit, which is really fun. Okay, so I'm gonna start with what I made this week, which is not a ton, but the first thing that I made was the Peppermint Magazine Common Stitch loungewear set. It's a free pattern. I made both the top and the bottom. I made it out of this really fun finger hand print. Sorry, two of my nails went away. Anyway, I made it out of this fun finger outline hand print. And I really like the top. I mean, it's super boxy and oversized, which I'm fine with, especially for just lounging around the house. The pants, I didn't love the fit. They're fine for lounging around the house, but they're just like, I don't know, not flattering. I've already posted a video on that. I'll link it in the description box in case you're interested. I did have somebody comment on that video that they made, I believe it was Marie made this, had commented on the fact that she also made the pants and she made them in a knit fabric. So maybe I'll give that a try because that sounds kind of comfy. All right, and the other thing that I made is what I've got on today, and it's the Cashmerette Concord tee. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post a review on this or not. I think I'm gonna give it a go a couple of more times. I don't love the way that this one came out, but that's completely user error. I can definitely see the promise in this pattern, the fact that it fits my bust and fits the rest of my body without clinging. But I definitely made some boo-boos like that. That does not look good. I did do a pretty good job on the neck band though. I'm pretty impressed with that. It's the sleeve bands that I don't love, my fault. And I snipped the notches too far in on the fabric. And so I put this together 100% with my serger, other than the top stitching on the hem. So I have a couple of holes in the seams, totally easy to fix. I just need to go back over it with the serger, but I need to be a little bit more careful about my notch snipping. But yeah, I mean, I'll put a few pictures in up here. The size is actually probably the right size for me. It's just my personal preference. I don't like things that are too close to my body. This is not, other than the bust line, there's not negative ease in this size for me. The part that goes around my midsection, actually there's positive ease there. It's just closer to my body than I'm used to things fitting, and I'm not comfortable in it. So that's me. And then the other thing is, after I put it on, I realized I cut my fabric out wrong because the stretch is this way instead of this way. I mean, it does have 4-way stretch, but it's stretchier this way. Lesson learned. Luckily, now I did not intend for this to be a wearable muslin, wearable toile, whatever you want to call it. It did work out that way because I'm not going to wear this outside of the house. But luckily, the fabric was super cheap. It was like less than $5 a yard. So I don't feel like it was a waste of a nice fabric. And it's a cute wearable toile. My husband actually liked it and didn't see anything wrong with it. And he actually liked the way it fit, even though I don't. So, you know, I don't know where to go with that. Okay, so then the next thing that I made is not really a make. I played around with the decorative stitches on my sewing machine. It's the first time I've done that. I bought the machine in March of 2020, so March of last year, so just a little bit over a year ago. And I haven't played with any of the decorative stitches at all. I played a little bit with, I've used the buttonhole, one of the buttonhole stitches. So as I was playing with the decorative stitches, I realized that there are five buttonhole stitches on the machine. So that was interesting to find out. But yeah, I think I'm inspired to, once I make, like, I want to do some decorative stitching on, like, maybe an armband of a shirt, or maybe the hemline of a shirt. I think that would be super cute. So wait for that. That'll be coming sometime. All right, what else? Oh, I took an online class, a sewing class. So it was just a little course. It wasn't anything like major, but it was a cashmerette pattern fitting for curves class. And I found that super helpful. It went over full bust adjustments and how to make those, and just the not just the mechanics of it, but the reasons why you need to move this that way and that way, and that it adds length to the front when you do the FBA, which was kind of an aha for me, given that I've had some struggles with some of my hemlines, as I've mentioned before. So I think doing an FBA on some of those patterns could help alleviate my high-low hem situation that I had going on. So that was a good course. I thought it was very clear. Her instructions were very easy to follow. She took you through step by step. Now, the only thing I've made since then is this t-shirt, and I didn't need to do an FBA because her patterns come with the proper bust size. So I haven't tried it yet. So I'll let you know how that goes. What am I working on next? So I don't like to make plans because I change my mind so much, but I do want to start digging into my Make 9 commitment. So I was looking at it. I'll pop it up here. And I was a little late to the party. I didn't do my Make 9 commitment until, I want to say, like March. But I chose categories rather than specific patterns, again, because I like to change my mind. So one of the things that's on my list is to knit a summer weight sweater. So I started on that last night, and it's just a simple pattern, something that I can do while I'm watching TV with my husband at night, on the nights that I don't feel like sitting down at my sewing machine. So I've got that started. One of the other things on my list is to knit a pair of socks. I've been knitting longer than I've been sewing. I started knitting in the summer of 1985. And I started knitting only a year before I started sewing. The difference is I kept knitting throughout the years where I stopped sewing throughout the years. Now, I pick knitting up very sporadically, so I would do it for a year, then I'd stop for a couple of years, then I'd do it for a year again. But over the last, I'd say 5 years, I've been more consistent with it. I've not done terribly complicated projects. I do a lot of scarves, I do some beanies, I've made some ponchos. My very first project ever that I ever did back in 1985 was a sweater, but it was a simple sweater. It was just 2 squares, and you sewed it together at the shoulders and sewed it together at the side seams. And that's kind of what I'm working on now. The summer weight sweater that I have is just 2 rectangles that are going to be sewn together. But I've only made a couple of like shaped sweaters. It's just, I like the what am I trying to say? I like the rhythm. That's it. I like the rhythm of knitting. and I don't want to have to pay attention. That's why I do easy projects, and I'm happy with the way they come out. And quite frankly, just like with sewing, my favorite yarns to use are super colorful. So I think they get showcased really well in simple items. So that makes me happy all the way around. So yeah, so that's my current project, but I'll work on that in between other things because it's something I can sit on the couch and do at night. The socks, I found a video online. Her name is Vine, and she has a really great step-by-step tutorial that you can knit along with her a pair of socks. So I'm gonna take a stab at following her. I took a stab yesterday. I cast on twice and got frustrated both times, so I had to like rip it out. So I just need to have a moment where I can just sit and watch, take my time, give myself some patience. But I'm super anxious because everybody who sews socks says that after you've gotten like the rhythm down, that they're actually very easy. So we'll see about that. So those are my two like more concrete-ish plans for the month of June. And my last sewing topic before I move on to a couple of things life related. On Tuesday night, I had a Zoom call sew along with a couple of my YouTube sewing friends, which was a lot of fun. So it was Heather from Textile Tailored Thoughts, Mari from Mari Sews, and Carmen from Carmen Salome. And we just chit-chatted. We all like, you know, I was tracing my patterns. They were cutting patterns out, you know, sewing, like, but the big thing was we were all doing our thing, and then we were just chit-chatting and getting to know each other and talking about sewing, which was a lot of fun because I don't have anybody in my real life to do that with. So I enjoyed that immensely, and I look forward to doing something like that again. And as far as life goes, sorry, I keep looking at my notes. Our AC went out, and it was out for 4 days. So when we moved here, the end of last year, so we've been here, it's May, we've been here 6 months now. And when we moved here, we decided we were gonna rent for the first year because we didn't know the area. I had never even visited Miami, much less knew what areas of the city I might wanna live in on a more permanent basis. So we decided to rent for a year before as we were exploring the area and figuring out where we wanted to live a little bit more permanently. And so whenever something goes wrong, we have to deal with a landlord, and we were assured. So we met the people who lived in this unit before we did a couple of times, and the woman just raved about the landlord and the management company and how responsive they were and all of that. And she'd lived here 6 years with her family, and she thought that the landlord and the management company were awesome. We've had a few, like we've had to deal with them more in the last 6 months than we had to deal with our previous landlords in like 6 years. The microwave went out like within our first week here. Now that they responded very quick. They told us what to go buy. So we had to go buy it. They arranged to have it installed, and then, you know, we just deduct the cost from our rent. But then we've had a couple of other things go wrong. We had that flood, which my home office, the floor is still not replaced. So I'm on concrete and not hardwood floors. And most recently we had the air conditioning went out, and it was out for 4 days before they got somebody here to look at it. Luckily, somebody came on Wednesday, and it took them 20 minutes to fix it. But yeah, that was not fun. We had a couple of very hot nights, which I can deal with it during the day. At night, I was miserable. But it's all fixed now. All right, and then my last thing is my husband and I, our 15th anniversary is in the month of June. And we are going to take a little weekend trip. Instead of the beach in Miami, we're going to go to the opposite coast and go to a resort in Naples. So just a different scenery, you know, it's getting away from home. What I was hoping was if anybody lives in the area that and you know of any fabric shops, I don't know if my husband would appreciate that, but if there are any amazing fabric shops that I have to see while I'm in Naples, let me know in the comments. So that's about it for me for Friday Sews. I plan to sew something this weekend. I have no idea what. I'm gonna go through my Trello, which has all of my patterns, and I'm gonna match it up with some fabric and I'll make something because my husband works all weekend, and that's what I like to do on the weekends is sew or you know, get ready to sew or something. So I'll have something to share with you over the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope wherever you are, the weather is great. I'm in such a good mood today, and I have no idea why. Nothing is going on. Anyway, but the weather's gorgeous, and I hope wherever you are it is as well, and that you're able to get in some sewing today. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.